everyone, this is Laura with We Met Where Work and More, and today I'm going to show you how to make these super cute Christmas ornaments. They also look really great attached to a wreath. And anybody that knows me knows that I absolutely love working with the antique sheet music. And once again, I rescued this stuff from the antique store, and it was just an old book that was falling apart. As you can see, the pages are all kind of gnarly here. And I believe in rescuing stuff. So that's what we're going to do today, is make these ornaments with antique sheet music. Now before we get started, I would like to ask you, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share this video. The materials we're going to use today is, of course, our antique sheet music. We have a little bit of leftover greenery from some other projects. We have scissors, we have a Sharpie, we have some jute, some bells, some wooden snowflakes that we had kicking around, a little bit of extra burlap, and of course our glue gun and a glue stick. So we started off by drawing, as you can see, this has the lines on it, but drawing the shape of a mitt and the shape of a stocking. So we'll start with the stocking here, and what we're going to do initially is take a piece of our jute. And in this one I have wire, but the jute is actually quite a bit easier to work with. So we're just going to eyeball where we need to cut that. And this is going to be the hanger. Setting that off to the side. And then we're going to take our glue gun and we're just going to put a dab of glue in each upper corner of our stocking, and then we're just going to pop our jute on there. Okay, kind of move it into place, and then we're going to take the top part of our stocking and we're going to pop it on there as well. Holding it in place. And then we can take our glue stick and just run this along the perimeter of our stocking, pressing that down to hold it together. We want to make sure that we can still open this top part here, because we're going to insert our greenery into the top of that. Okay, pressing down, making sure everything's sticking together nicely. Something that I find with the antique sheet paper, for some reason hot glue doesn't always stick to it very well. So if we have to go back and glue these parts in, I will not even be a little bit surprised. Alright, so now we have the body of our stocking together. And we're going to take this strip of burlap, and this is this part here. This was from the dollar store, and it's actually self-adhesive, which I quite like. If you have some that isn't self-adhesive, then go ahead and use your glue gun. That holds this quite nicely, actually. So, peeling this apart, we are just going to pop that on there. Oh, that's a little bit crooked. Pop that on there like that, and then flipping it over. Now you don't have to do both sides. I do like to do both sides, because depending on how it's sitting on your tree or however else you choose to use it to decorate, you just might see the back of it. So that just takes care of that. All right, shaping up quite nicely now. All right, so for our greenery, as I said, this is kind of a remnant of from another project. I'm just going to cut a couple of these off, and this, for the second one, I'm only going to cut it off at about the halfway point, because we will be using some of this for the mitten as well. And just to give us a little bit of a stock, I go in and I cut these bottom ones off. Just makes for better gluing, and it fits better on the inside of our stocking. But depending on which type of greenery you're using, you may or may not have to do this. Okay, so we open this up a bit again. Taking our glue gun, we are going to just put a bead of glue inside there, and we're just going to pop one of these in, and then we're going to pop the other in. Once again, pressing down so that it holds those in place. And I think on this one we will probably add a couple of the bells. Once again, grabbing our glue gun. You know what, I think we might do 3. Just because. Now be careful here, glue is very hot, and you will have to hold those bells for a couple of seconds to make sure that they're going to stick. Okay, that came together quite beautifully. So now we're going to take our Sharpie, and we're going to use the fine point end, and we are just going to work around the perimeter of our stocking, just putting these little lines that look like little stitches. They can be of varying lengths, they can be of varying widths, and it really does just kind of tie the whole thing in together. All right, so there's that part of it. And I like to date my ornaments, so I am going to go in here and I am going to write 2019, just like that. All right, there is our first stocking. A little bit different than the one with the berries. Now for our mitten. Once again, it's just a hand-drawn template. So then we are going to do the same thing that we did with our stocking and the jute. So we're going to measure approximately how much jute we're going to need, and then we will chop that off. It's fighting back. And then we take our glue gun, we put another bead of glue on the inside part, take our jute and put it there, take our jute and put it here, and then we pop that top part right there. It's going to hold that in place. Grabbing our glue stick, just going around the perimeter, just to hold it in place. Pressing down, letting that set for a minute. Mixed up my tops. All right, so now we're going to go back to our piece of jute. It's got kind of a gnarly end on it, so we're going to take this off. We're going to grab a couple more bells, and then we are going to just kind of eyeball a measurement here. This is where our bells are going to hang. And then we are going to attach our bells to the end of our jute. And sorry about that, guys. I can hear my stomach rumbling. I did just have lunch, so it's not that I'm hungry. Okay, there's one. Two. That one looks like it may or may not stay where it's supposed to. So I've got an extra little dab of glue on there. Okay, so we just set those off to the side. Now this one I have a piece of burlap that has some glitter designs to it. It's a little rough around the edges, so I'm just going to trim it. And I do want as much of this pattern on it as possible. So I am going to trim it this way. And then, oh, this other one is probably about perfect. So I'm going to trim this one. Unlike the previous piece on the stocking we did here, there's no adhesive for starters, and also it is 2 pieces. So we'll have to glue those separately, which no biggie. It just is what it is. All right. So I think I like the width of that. So we're going to take our glue gun. We're just going to run a bead along here. Pop that on there. Now you might have some seepage through here, so just watch your fingers because it's hot, of course. Flip it over, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Once again, you don't have to. I like to, just because you're not always sure if it's going to be seen from both sides. Alright, we need a little bit of trimming done here. So go ahead and do that now. And I think I just want to clean this up a titch too. Alright, very pretty. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our greenery, bringing back in this piece that we had left over from the stocking. And then this one is taller. It's got a big knob on it though, and I don't want that. Cutting that off. Okay, fantastic. So once again, opening up our mitt on the top. I'm going to get in between those two layers of sheet music. This one's a little tighter, it's not quite as wide across the top. Taking our glue gun, run another bead of glue in there, and pop in our greenery. Okay, we're going to hold that down. Awesome, coming together nicely. All right, so we have our jute with the bells. We're going to bring in one of these snowflakes. Now it's silver on one side and then it's just the wood on the other side, and I do like the wood just because it ties in so nicely with the antique sheet music. So for this, we're going to glue this all in one fell swoop. So I don't think you can probably see it, but there is a big goop of glue there. Popping that on there, and then I'm going to pop this on there. And ideally, they all stick together. Sometimes it isn't always enough glue to hold the snowflake in place, but we'll see momentarily. And nope, I don't think that's going to work. So let's put another glob of glue on there. If you noticed, I grabbed the jute and I kind of scooched it to the inside of the mitt, excuse me, so that it wasn't sticking out the side, which is perfectly okay. I just prefer it if it hangs more or less straight down. Pressing it firmly. Little strings. It's from the jute. I was thinking it was a glue string. Okay, so there is that. Once again, we are grabbing our marker and we're going in and we're drawing those lines around the perimeter of our mitt so that it looks like stitches. Flipping it over, I'm going to add the year 2019. So that is our super easy, really fast little antique sheet music stocking and mitten. And once again, they look really great on the tree, on a wreath, or attach them to a gift as part of the gift itself. Anybody receiving these is absolutely going to love them. So once again, this is Laura with We Met Wirework and More. And please don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell so you get the notifications when we come out with these super fun projects. And I look forward to sharing the next project with you. Have a great day, guys.